This morning we had PCE numbers, and as you can see, the markets are seriously moving. We have stock market runs to the highs, as well as gold jumping here pretty big time. And not to mention Bitcoin is just shy of its all-time high. We'll be talking about all of these and talking more importantly about setups going into the end of the week. So as I mentioned, the stock market is jumping big time. You have the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow all up here today, while the dollar index is giving back pretty much all of its gains in the last 24 hours. The euro is jumping on that, the pound is jumping, and my gold position is looking pretty good here right now. We actually have something breaking out for us finally. I mean, this thing has been moving nowhere for a little bit, so gold 2,048 an ounce. All right, so here's a quick look at the markets here this morning. You can see the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow are all up on the day. The dollar index is giving back a lot of its gains, which has the euro and gold and the pound all jumping here this morning. Look at gold up to 2,048 an ounce. It's a pretty big jump here this morning. Oil is also trading higher, which has been nice. And we'll talk about all of my current positions as well as things that I'm looking at as we get into today's video. Also, we've recently opened up our Discord for people who would like to join. We have a ton of free value inside of the Discord. So if you're not already in there, there's a link to it down below in the description. Just find that and you can join for free. Okay, so first things first, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on my gold position as well as my game plan going forward. So the purpose of these videos is, of course, to talk through ideas that I have, but also things that I'm kind of currently trading and dealing with. So I'm going through a gold trade here that I bought a few days back, and for a little while it's just been chopping range bound, but finally with today's PCE numbers showing kind of some cooling in the inflationary department, gold loves this, right? Because that could signal that rate cuts are still on for this year, and that could bring gold back to its highs. So anyways, I went long. I'm in this current position here, and what I'm looking for, and I'll talk about this more in just a second, is I'm looking for a break of some of these resistance points. I am currently trading GLD. That is the ETF that I've got. So I'll pull this up so you can see it a little bit better. There is GLD. So I'm in gold and silver ETFs. Here you can see I'm up about $1,000 between the two of them. So I am bullish on metals, and I'll talk more about my oil trade, which is really moving here in just a second. But I do want to mention that you noticed there just a second ago that my gold trade is significantly smaller than my oil position. And that's because on the daily chart, I don't love that this thing is still kind of range bound, that we aren't in this sort of monstrous clear upward trend on the daily chart. That's why I took a relatively small position. That being said, I am looking for an opportunity to actually add to this trade. So what I'm looking for is this $2,060 an ounce mark, which I would have marked as my resistance level here. I'm looking for that to fail. If it fails, not a guarantee, but if it does show me signs that, hey, we might actually be breaking out of this consolidation period, I may actually add to my gold trade. And this has been something that I've been talking about. So if we see just a clean sweep through these highs and strength is really there for the bulls, I'm going to be looking to actually add size to my position. I do like the idea of adding to winners. I'm not a big fan of adding to losers, but adding to winners is something that I'm very happy to do if there's a good reason behind it. So I'm looking for the technical signal to break through these highs, and I may actually even repeat that process. I'm getting ahead of myself, but if we have a real nice move, right, I may actually be able to do that twice. So I'm watching gold. That's my forward-looking game plan as we go into the end of the week and into next week. For those of you who are aspiring fundamentalists, I want to just real quick cover the inflation story in relation to what we saw this morning with core PCE numbers coming out in line. So we've seen inflation coming down in early 2023, then it kind of slowly creeped up, slowly creeped down, and mostly has gone sideways. What the Fed is looking for in order to start really cutting rates is for this inflation to start again towards a path to 2% inflation. This is their target, right? So that 2% target for them is what they want to see. But they may begin cutting rates if they start to see momentum. Right now, we don't have that momentum in the CPI data. But today's PCE numbers, which of course share a lot of the same characteristics, a lot of the same measurements as the CPI and PPI, seeing some cool down in the inflation today was a good start. So if that starts to form and materialize here in the form of the CPI, gold really could get strong. That's why gold is already trading higher today, just showing you how smart markets really are. So that's another reason why I have a short-term bullish view on gold, but also a longer-term one. So I'm liking what we're seeing here, and as long as we continue to get more of that, I may continue to stay long gold. Another reason that I'm bullish gold and have stayed bullish gold is the seasonality chart. What this chart is showing you on the last 10 years historical basis, this is the average yearly performance of gold. So gold has a nice run in the first portion of the year, some mixed middle period, a nice spike towards the end, and then it kind of ends a little bit low. That's the last 10 years, historically speaking, on the price of gold. But what I like here is that we still have a runway in front of us, several weeks where historically in the last 10 years, we've seen gold do quite well. It's why I have a trade on right now to the upside. Now, you may be asking, well, how did you spot this? Did you have to go combing through all this? And if you can sense a sales pitch coming, it is because it is. This tool is really remarkable. What we've done is we've programmed the software to look for those seasonality opportunities in the current and upcoming months. So the Edge Finder then scores and looks for that. And so that's why you can kind of see we're getting a bullish read on gold under the seasonality tab. And we have a very bullish read for gold here this morning. So the Edge Finder helps you to spot potential opportunities. You still have to do your own research and manage your own risk and entries and exits, but the software helps you spot data-backed ideas and setups that are available. And if you'd like to try this software for 30 days, there's a link down below in the description that will give you that opportunity. All you do is fill out that application and we'll get you hooked up. In other areas, in terms of the top setups algorithm, which is what we call this handy dandy tool, the oil market looks bullish, which is something I'm already long on. The pound dollar, the gold market, pound Aussie, pound pair is generally getting some bullish, some love there. And then on the flip side, if we take a look, we just flip the score here to bearish reads. We actually don't have any right now, which is a rare occurrence.
You get nothing.
All right, and here's an updated view of the oil trade that I'm currently in. I do want to add clarity if you were just tuning into my videos here and you haven't seen the recent ones. I went long gold once, a second time. This was a very small loss. I took a very small size. The second one was a normal size loss. And this third trade, this third attempt is the one that finally really went. So just to add transparency with my trades that I'm sharing here on YouTube, I am not always all right. In fact, many times you will see me going through a drawdown period or a losing streak. It's normal for every trader, and I just want to add that right now I've got a lot of winners on my plate, but that is not always the case, and it's nice when it happens, but clarity is very important to me. That being said, you can see we are up $5,264 on this oil trade. I bought USO, which is of course the oil ETF, USO. You can look it up if you are using the broker that I use, which is WeBull. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But the oil market is really ripping here, and I actually added more size to my position. So I bought here, and on a breakout of this candle here on the retest, I actually added more size to my trade. We'll see if that ends up being a good decision or not, but I really like the price action here. Being able to break through what was this level of resistance, we can actually go ahead and mark that as support now. So now we've got it marked in green. And again, as long as we continue to hold this general area, if we do take out the lows, that's going to be a trailed stop for a profit. Otherwise, if we keep running, I'll look to tighten my stop further and let that winner run. The dollar index remains pretty flat here today. You can see despite the PCE numbers showing some cooling, this bullishness here kind of was squashed away on today's news, but still seems like the market is very, very low volatility in terms of the dollar index. We haven't really made a clear, decisive directional move here. I've mentioned recently that if we do break this level of support, that would be a pretty red flag for me in terms of dollar bullishness. But until that happens, I remain slightly and cautiously bullish on the dollar. I'm looking to see if we can get some strong economic data. If that does happen and we do see rate cut expectations get pushed out, that could be an interesting story, but right now it doesn't seem to be the case. The dollar index is sitting at support, but not decisively pushing off of it either. And the S&P 500 had a nice push off of here today. I was actually looking at this one to see if it would pull back to this support level. Didn't quite get there, but we haven't necessarily broken through the highs, but market's still looking very bullish overall here, and stock market bulls are probably really enjoying this push today. Same thing with the NASDAQ, just shy of all-time highs here, trading at 18,000 on NAS 100. And Bitcoin is off to the races. You can see here trading at 63,000. And guys, this is just shy at the time of recording this. I mean, by the time this gets uploaded, it could be at the all-time highs. Who knows? But Bitcoin just shy of its all-time highs highs that were traded back in late 2021, a very different market environment than we've seen the last few years, where we kind of entered into this more ugly period with rate hikes that came and really scared the markets. We've now recovered pretty much all of those losses, which is pretty remarkable to say the least about cryptocurrency. I do actually think that the adoption of Bitcoin ETFs in the stock market has been a bullish thing. Initially, it was a buy the rumor, sell the news event, it seemed like. As you can see, this is the ETF that I actually own my position on, IBIT. This is a daily chart we'll flip over. So initially, the ETFs launched and they initially sold off pretty hard. In fact, by the way, that's a drop, just to add context, that's a 20% drop in just over a week. And then the market ripped, right? Now this is just a ETF that tracks Bitcoin. It holds Bitcoin on your behalf, which some people love, some people hate. I personally don't really care to own Bitcoin myself. I use it as kind of a speculative vehicle. It's not something that I am a super long-term bull on per se, but I do have a position open. It's kind of a trade that I've got, and it's working out well here so far. Yeah, Bitcoin is something that we have been trading inside of the VIP room. Here was the update that I shared, and you can see since I've shared that update, we jumped another 20-something% on the price of Bitcoin, which is absolutely crazy. And just a reminder, the Discord link is down below in the description if you'd like to join us. And here's a current look at all my current positions. So we've got everything on here from ETFs that I'm trading to options trades that I've got, so on and so forth. And all of these are pretty much called out inside of the VIP room, minus this one experimental trade that I've got. This is SGOV. I only bought one share, but I was just curious. It seems like it's a way to kind of expose yourself to bonds, which just was an experiment. But I'm up a whopping 4 cents on that one. So yeah, kind of crazy. Anyways, if you guys would like to check out this broker that I use or other ones that I recommend for people outside of the US, there's some great sign up perks. You can get free stuff by using the links down below in the description. And if you do choose to use those are referral links. So you'll be helping and supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. You don't have to use those links, but if you'd like to support me, you can do so by using the links down below. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day and trade safe. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.